Hey guys, it's me Jacqueline for today's video. I have the My Intimidating TBR Pile Tag. I wasn't actually tagged to do this video, but when I saw Lindsay Ray, who actually originally created this video, do it, I thought it was a lot of fun and I wanted to do it anyway, so let's get started. Question number 1 is, what book have you been unable to finish? I'm going to go with The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. Now for me, I know so many people absolutely love this book and love this series, but I've tried on 3 separate occasions to pick this book up. It's a pretty big book. I think it's like 800 and something pages, but every time I did try to pick this book up, I got to around page 70, 80 and just couldn't go any further. I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for historical fiction or anything like that, but for me, I was just so incredibly bored and not into this novel that I had to stop and put it down. Now, I did recently watch Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. She did a non-spoilery book review for this book, and I trust her so incredibly much. I have very similar reading tastes with her, and she actually said this was kind of a disappointment for her. So I'm going to push off reading this book during the summertime. Maybe I might actually get through it then, but for right now, I'm not planning on reading this anytime soon. So for the next couple of questions, it follows the sentence format. What book have you yet to read because? So for question 2, it is, what book have you yet to read because you haven't had the time? For that, I'm going to go with Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This isn't a huge book. It's about 600 pages, but I want to just dedicate a full day, maybe even 2 days, to just reading this book. I have heard the most amazing things, not only about this book specifically, but about Brandon Sanderson as a writer. People just acclaim he is one of the best fantasy writers, and I want to get into this book specifically and just have so much dedication time that I haven't had the ability to kind of just schedule time to read this book. I'm not trying to delay it too much. I am planning on reading it this summer because I just need to pick up a Brandon Sanderson book. It is time. Question number 3 is, what book have you yet to read because it is a sequel? I'm gonna go with The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. I absolutely love The Kiss of Deception. I've had the sequel, this one, The Heart of Betrayal, on my bookshelf for a really long time. I tried to actually reread The Kiss of Deception like a couple months back, but I was so busy that I didn't have any time, and I found I was reading it way too slow to really get into it. I will reread The Kiss of Deception soon, and then I will get onto this book because I know the 3rd in this series, the Remnant Chronicles series, is coming out in August, and I am so excited for that book. Question number 4 is, what book have you yet to read because it is brand new? For that, I'm going to go with The Dark Days Club, and this is by Allison Goodman. I heard Emma from Emma Books talk about this, and she said it reminded her a lot of The Mortal Instruments / The Infernal Devices, and I was all about that. It's another historical fiction, but this is more of a paranormal fantasy based one. I'm ecstatic to read this. I'm actually going to get started on this tonight, so I did just buy it, but I will be reading it actually today, which is super exciting, and I totally trust Emma and her recommendations. I have very similar reading taste to her, so whenever she recommends a book, I'm kind of all about it. Question number 5 is, what book have you yet to read because you read a book by the same author and didn't enjoy it? This was sort of a hard question for me because I tend to support authors that I like their books, so if I have a lot of books from the same author, I usually like the first book I read by the author and then continuously supported them. So the one author that I do have sort of a love-hate relationship with is Sarah Dessen. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Sarah Dessen. I will constantly support her. She came out with 2 of my all-time favorite contemporaries, which is Along for the Ride and Just Listen. Those are definitely my 2 favorite Sarah Dessen books. But the other one, this is her most recent book, Say Anything, but the other book that she came out before this, I think is called The Moon and More, and I didn't love that book. I only liked it. I think I gave it like a 3 or 2.5 out of 5 stars, and then some of her books I actually didn't enjoy at all. Maybe I will get to it this summer because I tend to read a lot of Sarah Dessen books in the summertime. This has been getting a lot of great reviews, so I definitely should pick it up sometime very soon. Question number 6 is, what book have you yet to read because you are just not in the mood for it? I'm gonna go with All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I've had this for an incredibly long time, but so many people love this book. It is another historical fiction. I don't know. I am planning on having like a full week where I read historical fiction books because for me specifically, I have a lot of World War II historical fiction books, and I feel like if I just set a week during my summer and read all of the historical fiction books, like The Bronze Horseman, this one, I have The Nightingale Tale by Christian Hannah as well. I feel like that's going to go a lot better for me. Number 7 is What Book Have You Yet to Read because it is humongous. For that, I'm going to go with The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This isn't that big of a book. I think it's around 600 pages, maybe 700 pages, but I'm just so intimidated by this book that it just looks massive. Like, I know it's not. I know I could do it. I know I could read it. I've heard the most amazing things about this book, but yet again, I feel like I need to set a scheduled time where I just read this book straight through. I don't want to stop and start this book because I heard a lot of people did that and they wouldn't necessarily recommend it. So I feel like this summer I will tackle this book. Question number 8 is What Book Have You Yet to Read because it was a cover buy that turned out to have poor reviews. For that, I'm going to go with Plus One by Elizabeth Fama. I just love this cover so much. I remember when I saw it, it reminded me of the Across the Universe series by Beth Revis before the covers changed, and those covers were gorgeous. When I saw this, I was like, yes please, give me it. I didn't actually read a summary or look up any reviews. When I did receive the book in the mail and then I started to actually look up reviews and what it was about, I found it wasn't what I thought it was, and also a lot of ratings was like 2 stars, 3 stars. I think it has like a solid 3.7 rating on Goodreads. I don't know. I just haven't picked it up because of those ratings, but I do want to pick it up because I think it is a standalone and it's not that big of a book. Then question number 9 is what is the most intimidating book in your TBR pile? I'm repeating an answer, but I am just so intimidated by this book. That's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Like I mentioned, I know I just have to set a time and just read this book straight through, but I've just heard the most amazing things about it that I just am so scared that I won't love it as much as other people. The hype for this book is so intense that it just makes me nervous about what if I don't like it as much as other people love it. I don't know. It's just so intimidating. Then question number 10 is who do you tag? So I'm going to tag specific people down below in the description box, but I also tag whoever is watching this video. If you don't make videos, then just leave your answers down below in the comments. I would love to know what you would say, and also let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the answers I said. And that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!